In our last video, we explored the vibrant and powerful empires of Africa in the year 1490. We saw a continent of intellectual hubs, global trade, and sovereign kingdoms. But what happened next? The centuries that followed marked a seismic shift, a period of immense change, conflict, and ultimately, resilience. Today, we will unravel the complex and often difficult history of Africa from the 16th to the 20th century. This is not just a story of hardship, but of powerful survival. But first, if you want to understand the full, unedited story of African history, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. The 16th century saw the beginnings of a new kind of interaction with the outside world. While forms of slavery had existed in Africa for centuries, they were vastly different, often based on debt or conflict, and not on a permanent, inherited status. The transatlantic slave trade was an entirely new, industrialized system of forced labor driven by the insatiable European demand for workers in the Americas. It was a trade that decimated communities, tore families apart, and systematically dehumanized people on a scale never before seen. It's estimated that over 12 million Africans were forcibly removed from their homes, leaving a permanent scar on the continent's social fabric and economic potential for centuries to come. Following the decline of the slave trade in the late 1800s, Europe's interest in Africa pivoted. Fueled by the Industrial Revolution's demand for raw materials like rubber, timber, and diamonds, and a new sense of imperial rivalry, European powers sought to directly control African land. This period, known as the Scramble for Africa, reached its climax at the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885. This was a meeting of European nations where they literally drew lines on a map to divide the continent among themselves with zero African representation. This act arbitrarily sliced through pre-existing empires, languages, and cultures, creating borders that would define the next century of conflict. With colonial rule established, African societies were fundamentally transformed. Traditional leaders were replaced, local economies were exploited for the benefit of European powers, and cultural practices were suppressed. Yet, this era was not defined by passive subjugation. From the very beginning, there was fierce and widespread resistance. The Anglo-Zulu War in the 1870s, the Maji Rebellion in German East Africa, and the resistance of Ethiopia against Italian invasion all stand as powerful testaments to the determination of Africans to fight for their sovereignty. This resistance continued through the 20th century, evolving from armed struggle to intellectual and political movements. The two world wars proved to be a turning point. As African soldiers fought for European empires, they returned home with a new sense of global awareness and a fierce desire for self-determination. This, combined with the weakening of European powers, created the perfect storm for change. Pan-Africanism, a movement uniting people of African descent, gained momentum, and influential leaders like Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana and Jomo Kenyatta in Kenya led their nations to independence. The 1960s became known as the Year of Africa, as one nation after another threw off the shackles of colonial rule, marking a new dawn of sovereignty and a rebuilding of a continent. This history is not a simple story of victimhood. It is a testament to the immense power of human resilience, the strength of identity, and the relentless fight for freedom. By understanding these centuries, we see not a people defined by what was done to them, but a people whose spirit could not be broken. If you found this video interesting or learned something new, Please subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more powerful truths about African history.